All right, football fans, listen. It is your boy, MrBradThomas, here with Betting the Pitch. And you might notice the intro sounds a little different because Sam, aka FIFA Brit, aka Sammy Shots, aka I Love Arsenal, is out this week. But that's not going to stop the boys from talking a little footy. Nick, how was your week, man? Good weekend? Make any money? Smash any crazy bets?
Yeah, it was okay. Footy's been weird lately. I was kind of hoping we'd go the whole show without saying the A word, but we didn't even last 10 seconds.
We had to do it in Sam's honor.
I was like, this could be the only episode in history that doesn't have the A word. No, it was good, man. It was a good weekend. Memorial Day. Obviously, footy's a little slow right now
Yeah.
with the major leagues. Coming to a close. So we got a little bit of downtime right now, but MLS is in full gear. We got Champions League coming up, and then right into Copa and the Euro. So a lot coming up this summer. It's going to be really, really excited for that. But yeah, weekend was good. How about you?
It was okay, right? Like, I feel like from an engagement perspective, like most of the people who follow me on X don't really care to bet for these minor leagues. So like I'll post a bet and people probably like, first of all, what league is that? So I've been putting like the flag next to it, but no one likes to tweet. Win or lose, no one ever even talks about it. It kind of just goes by the wayside. So I feel like I'm kind of wasting time, but it was good to kind of, I guess, say detach myself a little bit, right? Like I bet Napoli to win live, but it was only minus 120. So it's okay that they lost. I wasn't laying heavy juice. Like no one cares about those games, right? I think another one was I bet Inter Milan to win, but no one cares about it at the end of the season. So it felt good to not really care.
Hmm.
Obviously, I don't want to lose money, but I detached. I went to the pool, had some family time, barbecued. But I'll say this: as sad as this part of the season is from a betting perspective, right? Like we get these finals, especially the Champions League final. It's so amazing. Like, I mean, I love the Champions League final so much we got married and then our party the next day at the pool was a Champions League final, like watch party. So
Sick.
I'm super stoked for it. Let's get into the first game, the Europa Conference League final. And before we get into any betting action, I just want to talk about this. Creating these smaller competitions for the teams who don't have the massive bankrolls to finish, top four every single season. This is great, right? Like Fiorentina are playing in another final. They probably wouldn't be playing in any Champions League final anytime soon, or like an Olympiacos knocked off Aston Villa. Like that's not going to happen in the Champions League because you're going to be playing against an Arsenal, a Manchester City, a Liverpool. So these kind of finals really get me going because I think it makes like the little man or these smaller teams really have a chance to lift some serious silverware and also get a fat check.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm excited to actually watch Olympiacos play here. I've kind of gone against them in this conference league. I probably won't do that this time around. Maybe I learned my lesson. But yeah, I mean, they looked strong against Villa. They look strong against Fenerbahce. So it's going to be hard to go against this team that has really controlled the ball, been solid defensively, and it's great to see because, like you say, you don't get to see this team play a lot. Especially when the big leagues are going. You're not really thinking about the Greece league or anything like that. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how Fiorentina play in this one, how they attack Olympiacos backline. I'm probably leaning the Greece side in this match. Where's your head at?
I do lean Olympiacos here, but I think that for me, the Greece side would have to do what they've done against everybody else. That's beat them on the break. Have El Kabi be the man to just kind of be the massive counter goal scorer, right? And that's not Yosef El Kabi. That's Ibo Akabi. I can't even pronounce his name correctly, so forgive me for that. Fiorentina are a team that just consistently get caught, right? They're not a team that I think either is really good at breaking teams down, right? When you see them play against sides that they have to break down, they're going to have long spells of the ball. They normally don't win the matches. And I'm just going to go domestically and think back to like when they played Verona, gave them long spells of the ball. They played Genoa, long spells of the ball. Even Torino, they had long spells of the ball. Empoli, and Lecce, like these are teams that gave them long spells of the ball and said, if you could break us down, do so. But from a betting perspective, dude, I'm going to have to bet both teams to score, right? Like it's minus 112. And this is official bet for anybody who's listening. It's minus 112. And we think about, and this is just based on Fiorentina. Do I think Fiorentina are going to keep a clean sheet? It's hard to say they're going to keep a clean sheet because they haven't kept a clean sheet in their last, what,
Eight.
eight matches?
Mm-hmm.
And both teams to score has hit in every single one of their last 9 matches. I do think there are better bets, though. I think if you want to take Fiorentina first half corner spread, or you just want to take them full game minus 115. They're a team, like I said, who are going to dominate possession. I'd predict they're probably going to have like 65% of the possession. And if they don't, that's even better for Olympiacos to score, but they're going to rack up the corner counts because they really do. Olympiacos trust Alcabi to score, which leads me to another bet that I have in this game. And I'm only sticking to 3 bets. It's Fiorentina corner handicap minus 1.5, both teams to score. In the third bet that I'm going to have to bet out of principle, Alcabi to score a goal plus 190. Shop that line around. In 8 matches, the dude has scored 10 goals. If you want to go and you want to take it as far as to score or assist, that's fine. But he's only assisted 1 goal. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the better value, plus 195 versus plus 125. But I think this goes to PKs, and I think Olympiacos win it in PKs.
Yeah, I think if it goes to PKs, I think it favors Olympiacos for sure. I'm also on both teams to score in this match.
Nice.
Fiorentina haven't kept a clean sheet in 8 straight. Like I said, both teams to score has scored in all 8 of those matches. Olympiacos don't need a lot of the ball to hurt you, and I think that really favors well in this matchup. I also like them draw no bet at plus 120.
Ooh.
Like you said, if we think it's going to go to penalties, obviously draw no bet would be a push. But getting that at plus 120, where I think that they could win this game, I like the value on that play. And the Fiorentina backline, I just, like you said, they get caught on the counter. I don't trust them. They've been beaten by much lesser sides in Serie A.
Yes.
So for me, I got to back the Greece side here. But I do think that there are goals, and I've said this. I think it was when Fenerbahce was playing Olympiacos. They really held Fenerbahce to not much of anything.
Yep.
And that really showed me a lot about like their backline, how controlled they are, how they know where everyone needs to be. They play a really tight formation. So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if Fiorentina was shut out in this one and it was like a 1-0 game. But for me, 1-1, 2-1, Olympiacos seems like the scoreline that I'm predicting.
Yeah, I totally agree. I want to add one more bet because I just think I have to play it. I wasn't going to play it. Fiorentina to have 2+ corners in each half. I think we're both in agreement that Olympiacos are going to score and they're live dogs to upset. I had them about a week ago. I posted on X that Olympiacos are really live. You should bet them to hoist the cup. That number has since gone down. I think to hoist the cup now is what, plus 108. It was way higher than that. But if we believe this is going to happen, that means Olympiacos are either going to keep it tight or they're going to be ahead, which means Fiorentina are going to continue to have long spells of possession. So for them to take 2 corners in each half, minus 140, official play from me there. Any other bets that you have for this one?
That's it. I like it.
All right, cool. Let's move over to the Champions League final. And I'm not going to say one word about anything until you get the floor, my friend, because Real Madrid in the final. It seems like we are saying this year after year. Congratulations. First, before you get into the game, I want to know, do you have any plans, any traditions, anything that you're doing special?
So the kid that I normally watch Real Madrid matches with, who got me into footy way back in the day and into becoming a Real Madrid fan, now lives in Florida. So
Okay.
I don't watch the games with him anymore. I probably will be by myself on the couch,
Sweating.
quietly sweating. Yeah, heart racing. Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous. I think um, Madrid played the lineup over the weekend. They are going to play in the Champions League with Courtois and net. I think that is actually going to happen. Um, and they didn't look great, to be honest with you. Versus a Real Betis side that, scored a goal that got ruled out. But Madrid, how hard they were really trying.
They didn't try at all. Yeah, I agree. Madrid didn't try one bit in that game. I was actually bet Madrid very small to win that match, and didn't seem like they did. I'll take this away from you here, BTP, and when you come back, I'll let you continue to have the floor. But I think that a bet, and this line may be gone by the time this comes out. I think a bet that I'm really excited to take, and I normally don't take bets like this in Champions League finals, so I'm only putting half a unit on it. That's Real Madrid team total over 1.5 goals. Half a unit, guys, not a full unit. I don't think the defensive efforts that Dortmund continuously have are going to be long-standing in this match. And why I say that, we look back, they held PSG to 0 goals across 2 legs. But we got to remember, Atletico scored 4 goals across 2 legs. When they played PSV, they held them goalless. They scored 1. PSG 1. AC Milan 1. Newcastle. Now, let's talk about the XGs. And I know a lot of people hate the XG numbers, right, dude? They hate the XG numbers, but against PSG, Dortmund had an XGA of 2.6. The game before that, 1.65. The game before that against Madrid, they had Atletico, they had a 1.2, 1.66. These guys have been basically getting away with murder. We talk about the dark arts always come into play in these Champions League matches. Well, how do you continuously have these 1.5, 1.6, 2.0 XGAs, and you're still not conceding goals? I think Madrid are one of those teams where if they're going to have a 2.3 XG, they're going to score 3 goals. So I put a half unit on Real Madrid team total over 1.5. I want to see what the number is now. It moved 15 cents at minus 155, which is fine. I mean, it's only a half unit anyway.
Yeah, so sorry about that. So what I was saying was, I think that Madrid, started their lineup over the weekend that they're
Yep.
going to start in the Champions League. They weren't impressive, but I don't know if they were just going through the motions or, just trying not to get injured, but just keeping, their legs fresh, I guess you could
Yep.
say. But I have to think that there's so much to play for on both sides. With Cruz now. This is his last game for
Yeah, man.
Madrid, possibly Modric. There's just so much on the line here. Obviously the books are showing that everyone's kind of going for Madrid, which sucks because I wanted to take their team total, but it has shot up. It's minus 170 on FanDuel right now. Both teams to score, I was kind of interested in, but that's kind of shot up a little bit. I'm seeing it around like 135, which isn't awful. I feel like this could be a 3-1 type game, maybe.
Yeah.
But like we've talked about before, like the finals have been low scoring, which scares me a little bit. But
Dude,
you know what
it's
I mean?
like,
Like it's
it's
always like
scary.
it is scary because it truly does happen where they're just low scoring. But like you talked about like you were talking about with Dortmund and their XG against. I mean, they're getting away with so much. Their keeper is playing out of his mind.
Yep.
He would have to keep it up in this match. To keep, Vinny and Jude and Rodrigo and all them, out of the back of the net. I kind of like this little cheeky bet of Madrid to score in both halves at plus
Okay.
136 over on FanDuel. I feel like Madrid could get ahead early, or if they concede early, they've always been a side that answers fairly quickly. So if they do give up an early goal to Dortmund, it will be a full-on press to get that goal back, and it could be 1-1 in the first half, and then let's say Madrid gets a late winner in the second half or something like that. So at plus 136, plus 140, I've seen it at. I like that little play to find some value. I'm probably going to try and wait to play like their team total and maybe both teams to score. Grab that live if I can get a better number. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a great game. I really do. The one thing that I keep going back to, or two things that I keep going back to, are the finals are low scoring,
Yep.
but Dortmund has just, they've really overperformed and I feel like they're just due for some negative
Yes.
regression.
Yes.
Like I just feel like we kept saying it and I know we kept saying it like this whole Champions League, like they're due. Like they're due to concede. They're due to concede. Like PSG is going to score. PSG is going to score. PSG is going to score, and they didn't. And it was just like post, 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 huge save,
Yep.
miss. And I haven't seen Madrid do that this year. So I feel like they're too focused. They're too locked in to be
Very.
missing those chances, and to let Dortmund, slide another match.
Yep. I want to say this. Uh I always get afraid of taking totals in these Champions League finals. But one thing that kind of remains true is the guys who got you there, or the aggressors, are always still aggressive in the finals. And I think that Vinny's going to be the most aggressive player, because as much as Vinny says he doesn't care about the Ballon d'Or, he does. Like it's just subconscious, right? Like Jude just being named player of the year for Madrid, and it's kind of like, Vinny had a great season. How do I take advantage of that, right? He scored 5 UCL goals, and assisted on 4 this season. I wanted to, I probably will, by the time the game starts, take him to score. His score assist number is even
Minus
money, which is just
150. I
even.
th- I got minus 150 on FanDuel, which I usually like to play because you get like the FanDuel assists.
Oh yeah, it's
Um,
also
you
worth
know
it.
what
I
I
got even
mean?
money.
On what site?
That's on Prop Builder, so any book that has Prop
Okay.
Builder attached.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but this is gonna be a bet, and I'm taking this. It's not him to score, not assist, not score assist. I'm gonna take him 3 plus shots, and I'm risking to win 1 unit. So risking 1.75 units. It's minus 175. I'm okay with laying the juice. And just talking about from a Madrid perspective, domestic combined with Champions League, combined with cup matches, he's averaging 3.59 shots per 90 minutes. But in the matches where they had the home leg, or they were down on aggregate, or it was group stage, 6 shots, 2, 4 shots, 3, 3 shots, 5 shots. His misses were either when they were up on aggregate and didn't care about the match, or the one miss when they played against Braga the second time. And he only missed by 1. He scored and got an assist in there. So I think that's a bet that I like. I was going to play him either, regardless of what the number was, all the way up to minus 200. That would just determine how much I was going to put on it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, unfortunately the books have kind of juiced these Madrid lines, so you really got to dig deep to
Yeah,
find some value.
big time.
In the 20 matches dating back to last season for Champions League that Vinny's played in, he has scored 12 goals and assisted on 9. I think there's been one game that he started that he didn't contribute either a goal or assist. I mean, I've been taking his to score assists line in Champions
Yeah,
League anytime it's at plus money. I don't care if it's plus 100. If I can get it on FanDuel at plus 100, I'm taking it. It's he's involved.
very
He,
involved. He's the
very involved. he drives that ship,
Yes, that's a
and
good way to say it.
he turns it on. He kicks it into another gear when it's Champions League. A lot of players do, especially the greats, and he's definitely shown that he's more than capable of being where he is and being recognized for the player that he is. So
Yeah.
if I wish the number was better at -150 on FanDuel. I just can't take it. But I just
Dude,
wanted to
the
point that out
FanDuel
that
assist just makes it worth it, though.
I know it really does. I mean, because and if you're not familiar with it, FanDuel assist consists of the player drawing a penalty. So if Vinny drew a penalty, and then let's say Jude stepped up and scored the goal, Vinny would get an assist on FanDuel. If Vinny shot the ball, the keeper made the save, it popped out, and Jude scored on the rebound, that would be a FanDuel assist. So
Yep.
there's a lot of perks. That's why you see different numbers on like FanDuel versus like DraftKings, and other sites that offer the to score assist line, because you get that benefit, and it's worth playing on FanDuel for sure, just for those perks.
100%. Even you get the own goal, right, for an assist there, the score assist if
Yeah,
they
yeah, I
kick
think
it.
so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really worth it. I don't know if you've said this, score prediction.
My man, my heart says 3-1 Madrid, but I feel like this could be really, I don't want to say cagey, because I feel like it'll definitely be some openness, and it'll be entertaining,
Yep.
and maybe even extra time, like a 1-1 type match. But I truly feel like this Madrid team is ready. They have, like I said, they have so much to play for Cruz, for Modric, anyone else that may be leaving.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, Dortmund does too with Reese. So I think it's going to be. I'm going to go 3-1 Madrid.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Madrid. But man, bro, somehow can we please get a goal in the first 15 minutes of this game? Because I think it will be absolutely amazing if we
Yeah,
do.
yeah. I think if we get that early goal, things could get real exciting.
Yeah, for sure. So that puts a bow on the Champions League and Europa. I want to let you have the floor and kind of go through the MLS. For those who don't know, I don't cap MLS. I'm slowly gonna cap MLS only on corners because I do think there's some volatility in that market. But I've been going kind of slow because I haven't got the right strategy yet. I'm not giving out bets unless I feel like I'm gonna win them. So you can have the floor and give me your
So
favorite bets.
yeah, so I'll just talk about how I bet MLS and what I
Yep.
usually look for, because MLS is one of those leagues that you definitely want to wait for lineups. Um, Managers can get real crazy, with either players not traveling or giving breaks. They seem to give breaks to players a lot more than you would expect. Messi and Suarez didn't even travel to Inter Miami's last match. They're out doing charity stuff or something. It's just crazy. So you really got to you just got to pay attention. So, waiting for lineups is important. They usually come out like an hour before kickoff. You can find them on Twitter if you just go to the team's page. Um, Teams that I like to target, I like to look for their splits, because when it comes to MLS, I feel like the splits are really important, home versus away. Like Inter Miami scores a lot of goals at home, and they concede a lot on the road. They score on the road, but they score a lot at home.
Yeah.
Um, Atlanta, and these two teams are facing off this week or tomorrow, today when this podcast comes out. Atlanta are a team you want to play when they're at home. Just it's something about being in that dome for them, on that field. They play faster, play more aggressive, they score more goals. On the road, they just look sluggish, they look lost. So this, tomorrow, today, when you're listening to this podcast, Miami at home versus Atlanta is definitely going to be a match I'm going to be looking at. Probably, Messi and Suarez should be back. So Miami should have their full lineup. Cincy are another team that you like to look at for playing at home. The Philadelphia Union are a team that's great at
Okay.
home. Austin FC are another team that's great at home. That's a little worse on the road. But when you're betting MLS, I think that's important to look at those things. Look at the splits, the home versus road goals, goals conceded, and make sure you check lineups because it's super important. Wait for lineups if you can. I know, putting parlays together and goal score parlays for the whole slate because it's spread out, kick off at 7:30, kick off at 8:30, kick
Yeah.
off at 9:30, kick off at 10:30, so they really spread it out on these big slates. And the midweek has been kind of shit,
They've
unfortunately,
been
when it comes to
rotating a
MLS.
lot midweek.
They've been rotating a lot. The scores have been lower, which sucks because MLS is one of the leagues I love to bet overs on because the talent is there, but it's
Yeah.
like there's those certain players that just, they belong in MLS and you can tell, and they get beaten real bad. But yeah, I mean, there's some good matches. I'll be talking on Twitter and in the Discord about MLS, and we'll be giving out plays. I'll have a couple free plays over on Twitter. But I think the main thing when betting MLS is waiting for lineups,
Yes.
checking home versus road splits, and then just find the value because the odds makers do juice the overs with MLS. So you sometimes got to get a little creative with the Asian totals or Inter Miami money line plus over 1.5 just to kind of get that extra little bump to get the value in the play. But Inter Miami and Atlanta game, I'll be looking at the Union and Toronto game. I'll be looking at Galaxy at home is always a play because they play super aggressive at home. And then LAFC late night at home versus Minnesota should be a great match for goals on both sides.
All right, perfect. I love to hear that. Any specific bets you want to give out, or you ready to move to the next segment?
Yeah, we can go on. Like I said, I'll have some free plays over on X on
Cool.
Twitter. Come tomorrow night.
Cool. I just want to we know Copa America is on its way. Euro 24 is on its way. I'm not going to go and tell you guys what I'm going to bet yet, right? I have a process and I want to know your process, and it doesn't have to be lengthy. I have a process that I do that's a little bit more extensive than I do for most of the big leagues. Well, I do this for the big leagues at the beginning of the season. I make spreadsheets on every single team. What I'll do is I'll have most appearances in the respective tournament. I'll have best finishes, whether that be wins or they've never made it out of group stage. Last finish, I'll make a list of every player. I'll make exiting players who left that were impactful, new players that could make a difference, and then formation. I like to know every player's typical formation that they're going to line up in. How I'm going to bet this tournament. Yeah, I'm obviously going to have my futures. Those will be in the goldboys.com Discord. I will have plays on X as well at MrBradThomas. I like to find mismatches or things that I consider tactical advantages. I don't really care who the better team is. And my favorite bets, and I'm going to be very transparent about this, are late in a group stage when a team might be sitting a player or they might be resting someone. And then I take advantage of shot props. I take advantage of goals, even double chance for the lesser team when they play their full roster. Any tricks or strategies that you have to kind of get ready for these big events?
So what I usually do is something similar to what you do. I go through X and make sure I find all the confirmed rosters for every club, and then I put what my starting 11 would look like for each club. And
Okay.
then come game time, once the lineup are released, like the official starting 11, hour before kickoff, I look at what I had versus what
Yep.
is actual starting. And if it's similar or spot on, then I know, okay, I have a good feel for this team. I have a good feel for, how I think they're going to play, and what I think they can do in this tournament. I also my favorite time to bet is usually after a couple games into the group stage when the teams have, kind of played each other
Yeah.
and now they're going around again. And you kind of can get a feel for, okay, how this team matches up versus this team, how they matched up versus that team,
Yep.
what they're going to do. Okay, they need to score 2 goals in this game. They can't concede a goal, things like that. That's when you can really get a good feel for how the match is going to go,
Oh yeah.
how the game's going to go, how the tempo is going to go. And you could find some great lines. Like these international games, you can really find some great lines. And I think that's one of the reasons I love international play is usually the books offer a ton of shot props, a ton of live plays, a ton of, plays all over, goalie saves, cards, things like that. I hope it's just like they did with the World Cup, where just like endless amounts of plays, because you can really find value all
Yep.
over the place. Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as like, I don't know who I'm going to bet yet for my futures.
Me
I'll be
neither.
giving that out in Gold Boys as well. But, for Copa, it's probably going to be the Argentinas and the Brazils and the
Yep.
Colombias of the world. And then Euros, it's probably going to be France, England. Um, I probably dabble on Portugal because I gotta go for my boys CR7. I mean, aside from that, Portugal is fucking stacked,
They are.
and they usually have very good future lines because, you know, a lot of the books and sharps are usually on France and England and Spain, and those types of clubs. So Portugal is usually a team I really like to bet for, not only cheering for Ronaldo, but they get really good numbers. Prior to the tournament kicking off.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say something. Oh my god, nah, I drew a blank, but it's whatever. I'm excited either way. Should be fun. I feel like we're gonna have so much action going on, and people are gonna forget that it's not like even the main soccer season. They're gonna be like, "Wow, you guys are just pumping out bets. Just keep pumping out bets." But before we get out of here, dude, anything that you want to plug, go ahead and have the floor.
Yeah, obviously follow me on X at Betting the Pitch. You can catch all my content and plays in the Gold Boys Discord. If you guys ever want to chat, hit me up in a DM. DMs are always open. I'm always down to talk footy. I absolutely love it. And if you guys ever want to hear us talk about anything on this podcast, shoot any of us a message.
Yes.
Down to talk about anything you guys want to hear about, know about in regard. It doesn't even have to be, giving out plays. It could be, just sports gambling in general, or anything with life. So definitely follow. And like I said, DMs are always open.
DM's always open. Yeah, follow me on X at MrBradThomas. Gold Boys, as always. To piggyback off what you said, guys, we love answering questions. I know you guys see us on X kind of getting into these little tiffs. It makes the world go round, the little banter. But this was fun. I'm gonna sign us off out here. If you are, listening in podcast form, make sure you download the podcast, subscribe. Also, send it to one of your buddies. Say, hey, check out this podcast, because we can't grow without you guys, and we do appreciate you guys tuning in. For Betting the Pitch, I'm Brad Thomas, and this was the final third. Have a good rest of the week.
Peace.